Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 77, Lamar. We're finally doing this movie. We've been wanting to do this for a while. Death Kiss.
Yes, this movie, it has an interesting, setup of premise because, of course, there is the Death Wish movies with Charles Bronson. There were 5 of those, correct?
I believe so.
We're going to have a discussion about those movies, especially 3.
Yeah.
Wow. But this movie, of course, rest in peace to Charles Bronson. He's not alive anymore. So they have a person that looks like Charles Bronson in this movie.
Yeah.
And does he identify himself as Paul Kersey ever?
No, he calls himself K, which,
Oh, yeah.
I guess they didn't have the rights to call him Paul Kersey, so they just called him K.
Yeah.
Amazing how much this guy looks like him, though. Like, I'm impressed.
Yes.
Like, this is just so amazing because Charles Bronson, not a common face.
No.
He had a very distinct look, and this guy just looks just like him. It's insane.
And they're not related, right?
Not that I know of. But the basic plot is like what you'd expect from a Death Wish movie. He's just going around killing thugs. And he's giving money to this woman.
Yes.
He shows up, and she's got a daughter that's, in a wheelchair and everything, because she was shot during a gunfight. A stray bullet hit her. So he delivers her money every day, and she eventually, confronts him about it, like, why do you always give us money, blah, 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 blah. And they have a little bit of a relationship going on there. And then, of course, at the end, when he kills the main thug, it turns out that he was in a gunfight with that guy at some point, and one of their stray bullets was the one that hit that girl. So that's why he felt the need to give them money to make their life better. And that's the basic movie. It's just him running around doing Paul Kersey things.
There's no real, because you say main villain, there's a lot of just different things that just kind of happen.
Yeah.
And it's just, if you're a fan of Death Wish, you're going to be like, oh, this is a Death Wish movie without being a Death Wish movie.
Yeah.
But there's no central, plot to
No,
it, you know
not
what I'm
really.
saying? Yeah, it's not like he was called back into action. He's just, oh, there's Paul Kersey.
Well, there is a kind of thing, the driving force of the movie is the Billy Baldwin character, which is kind of weird.
I thought it was Daniel. Is that, which one of the Baldwins?
Is that, I don't know the difference. Is that Daniel?
They're
Daniel
all
or one of the Baldwins?
One of the Baldwins, yes.
That's hard up for work. He's playing almost like he's a guy on the radio, almost like an Alex Jones type character.
That's exactly who I thought he was.
And he's talking about how bad crime is, but I don't know what his message was, honestly. But he's supposed to be pushing the plot along with those little monologues.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he's like that character, like you said, the Alex Jones character.
Yeah.
What's wrong with society?
Yeah.
We have to do something. And so that's who he is. Yeah.
I assume that's what that character was, kind of just the parody of the Alex Jones type. I'm hoping there wasn't a broader point to that character. They weren't trying to make a message with this movie.
Yeah, if they were, that's the wrong way to do it. Because he didn't make sense at certain points. And it's just kind of he's just the angry older white guy. What's wrong with society? Blah, 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 blah. So you don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing about the movie was the whole thing was ADR with the K character. It's that was funny.
I wonder why they did that, because it made him look like an alien almost, because his voice didn't match up with because you're in the audio way more than I am. His voice didn't match up with the actual audio when they filmed it.
Right.
So it just sounded really stale, like someone was in. I feel like they even turned off the background audio when he was talking.
Yeah, that was the weird thing about, because there's some other ADR in the movie. Even the woman in the movie was a lot of ADR, and it did seem like there was no background. When there was background ambience, and then they would speak and they would just like disappear, like they just recorded over it or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it was weird, but funny at the same time.
It was very funny because he was just he didn't talk a lot. That's one thing. And so I guess that's maybe it's somebody else's voice. Maybe because the guy's name is Robert Bronzi, I guess. Yeah. I've never heard him talk.
No, I don't know. He does go to like Comic-Con conventions and stuff, so we might have to go look for him someday. Another weird thing was there was a weird tone shift in this movie for me. Actually, multiple tone shifts. But one of them was like, I wasn't taking this movie very serious because it was kind of goofy.
Yeah.
But then the villain in this movie, who's actually the guy that was the villain in Kindergarten Cop.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him. I'm pretty sure that's him. And there's a scene where it's kind of goofy, like he's forcing a guy that snitched on him to beat up his own father, who's got a hood on, so he didn't know his own father. And I was like, oh, okay, this is silly, whatever. But then he's like, and now I'm gonna rape your girlfriend right in front of you. And it turned into like a really kind of dark, like, I was like, oh, god damn, what?
A lot of emotions going on. There's confusion, there's anger, there's treachery. It's like...
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Lot. Very much so. So that was a weird scene. Like,
yeah.
That was just...
The other weird stuff for me was any scene that Mr. K had with the woman, I forget her name in the film, but... those scenes were just awkward. Like, it was like they didn't belong. I know the payoff at the end that he may have accidentally shot her daughter, and that's why he was giving her money. But it was just like long, boring scenes, and there was a really boring, not boring, but really weird scene where he's teaching her how to shoot a gun, and it turned into like a weird music video or something.
We feel like this is kind of a parody or like a homage to Death Wish. So if you do it in that mindset, you're gonna have him do like, little sayings and stuff like that, and all this kind of one-liners and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But then they try to make it like this serious movie because it's shot very well. It has like
it is shot well.
Weird green kind of thing, but it fits the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like that rape scene, and then when they're talking to each other, it's just like, why don't you just have Kay just killing people?
Yeah, that's really what it should have been.
Yeah.
So, 2 questions.
Okay.
What do you rate it, and where would you rank this if it was a Death Wish film?
Okay, I will say this. On the technical side, because I want to see more of this, I think they're going to do a sequel. I would actually give it a 3.5, and this is why. Because I feel like even though some of the gunshots were a little fake, when the contact hit, there's like blood spurts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The action scenes were done well enough. It was shot well.
Yeah.
So I would give it a 3.5, but yeah, if the other stuff wasn't so boring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would have taken it up. If I had to rank it within the Death Wish movies, number 3, we gotta talk about number 3. That movie, that has to be number 1. I guess number 3, it would be Death Wish 3, Death Wish 1, 2, and then 4 and 5. They just, This one, I would say it's right under 2. Because it is somewhat interesting. So I would give it like, I guess, right after 2, I guess it's like number 4 on the list. Because 4 and 5, when I was watching, I'm like, Charles Bronson, take a seat, buddy. Pass the gun to somebody. I'm sorry, bro. It's time. It's time to go. So that's what I would rank it. So
okay.
What about you, Joe?
For me, this movie, it's right in the middle. It's a 2.5 out of 5. Same reasons why you said the action is fun, but it has a lot of that boring stuff with the woman that I just was like, come on, let's get on with this. I can't take it anymore. As far as it ranks for Death Wish films, I'm pretty much like about where you are. I think 3 is the best because it's insane. 1, 2, and then this movie, and then 4 and 5. 5 is the worst. 5 is awful.
Yeah, I started watching it. I was like, "What the fuck?" But go ahead.
I do like Death Kiss. I like this better than the remake with with Bruce Willis. So it is better than that.
That's how bad it is, because I didn't even think about that movie.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That's how. And once again, I try to give some bald love, but this was Death Wish, the remake with Bruce Willis was a shot to all.
It was a shit show.
Bald heroes. I was just like, ugh. Dear God.
All right. Well, guess that wraps this one up again to Death Kiss.
Death Kiss. Robert Bronzi, not Bronson. Damn it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm glad we saw it because we've been wanting to do this one for a while.
Yes, we have. Yes.
Cool. All right. Peace.
Deuces.